Archie Girl is back with another theory for y'all. Now just hear me out. So there's this author by the name of David Wilcock who wrote this story, or he wrote this book called Ascension Mysteries, where he mentioned something about a black Jesus. On this podcast, and a caller called in and asked him to go more in depth about this story and what happened with this whole black Jesus character. So allegedly, this man came forth and told David this story, who worked for the Rothschilds. And he was talking about how the government is pretty much afraid of an attack from extraterrestrials. And then he started to talk about this black Jesus. So allegedly in the 1960s, 1970s, there was this man in Africa who had the abilities like what the Bible says Jesus had. So he was healing the sick, he was levitating, he was doing all these like mystical things, or he had these abilities or whatever. Long story short, he began to gain a following. I guess he was approached by the government who said, hey, we're going to bring you to the United Nations and show everybody these abilities that you have. Well, they lied, and they pretty much set this man up and they tried to kill him, but he would not die. So allegedly they tried to shoot him in the head. The hole just closed up. They tried to chop this man's body up. Like, allegedly they did all this stuff to this man. He just kept coming back alive. Now, this is the part of the story that really stood out to me. The black Jesus character made a statement, and he was like, since they didn't want him here, that he had to leave. But in the future, there's going to be beings like him that come back, and there's nothing the government is going to be able to do about it. So there was another caller who called in and pretty much asked David, how do we contact extraterrestrials, or how will we know if we're in contact with extraterrestrials? And David's response was, through dream work, meditation, and the awareness of synchronicities is how we would know we was connecting with these ETs. Now here's my theory. I personally think this black Jesus character was one of the Anunnaki. And I also think that when he said that there will be beings like him who come back in the future is the reason why now the government is starting to talk about extraterrestrials. I also think, based on what David said about synchronicities, that maybe that's the reason everybody is starting to go through an awakening at the same time, and also why we see so many angel numbers. Now, I'm sure a lot of you also know what happened with the president in Haiti. And if you've been following the story, then you know that the president of Haiti made a statement and said that his people was not getting a COVID vaccine because they had a connection with nature and they could not get COVID. Now that the president has been assassinated, the government is going to send COVID vaccines to Haiti. Kind of makes me think, why do y'all want black people to get this vaccine so bad? It also makes me think about how Elon Musk and a lot of other rich people are trying to leave Earth. Like, what y'all running from? What y'all want to leave for? But hey, like I said, it is just my thoughts and my theories, but y'all let me know what y'all think.